Hello everyone. I'm doing a YouTube video here. I haven't done one for quite a while. And I was talking to my ex-wife, and she lives in Japan. And we had a very in-depth conversation. And I'm slightly beat up emotionally from that conversation because although she's a very brilliant person, she can be quite a handful to deal with on multiple levels. And but she's also extremely good with financial, economic knowledge, international finance and banking, and things like that. So she and I have been doing a kind of analysis of the real estate market in the United States. I've been listening to experts, I think legitimate experts on YouTube, from learning their points of view about what they think is going to happen in the U.S. housing market. So I'm going to give a shout out. First, I'm going to give a shout out to Travis Spencer at Real Estate Mindset. I'll put his link below. And there's a couple other pretty famous real estate gurus, knowers, teachers. I don't have their last names right now, but I will put in a link under this video eventually. I might have to edit the comments, but you know who these guys are if you study the real estate market on YouTube. Nick, shout out to Nick. Nick is a great knower. I think he has millions of followers for his videos. That might be a slight exaggeration, but I don't think it's a very serious exaggeration. He has so many followers. And a guy named Kevin, he has some fantastic videos. And there's a few others. I'll have them in the links below this video. But together with my ex-wife, her name is Hiroko. That's kind of hard to say for English speakers. Hiroko Tachikawa, my ex-wife. She lives in Japan, and we have a very special relationship. And we were discussing some factors that could have a huge impact on the real estate market. And we have 6 factors that could, from the point of view of X factors, exogenous shocks, unforeseeable events that could affect the real estate market in the U.S. for good or bad in ways that nobody can determine. So here we go. The first exogenous shock, or potential exogenous shock, is a great reset of our financial system. Charlie Ward and some other people are discussing the potential for a complete restart of the entire financial system. And Charlie Ward seems to be taking the angle of what's best for the people of the world. He's talking about a quantum financial system. I don't know if this is real. I don't know if it's just some fantasy of Charlie Ward's, but if it is real, it could have a gigantic effect that the entire financial system might get changed gradually or suddenly. The second factor of the 6 is a great reset from the point of view of not the people, but the central banks. As you may or may not know, the central bankers have been printing money like crazy, which has been causing great inflation in many countries in the world. And they're also thinking of coming out with their version of their controllable cryptocurrency, which would be, of course, different from Ethereum or Bitcoin or Doggy-Coin. It would be completely under the control of the central bankers. I don't think that this is going to work if they try this, but I know they want it to work very much. This would be a great reset by the central banks. This could happen. So you've got Charlie Ward's QFS, which would be a great reset by the people, or you have a great reset by the central banks, which would be really good for the bankers of the world. But we have two sides here, both thinking of having a great reset on our financial system. Well, this definitely could have an unimaginable effect on the real estate market, but nobody knows what the effect will be. At least I don't think anybody knows. If you think you know somebody, you tell me in the comments. The next thing is the BRICS decisions. BRICS is 5 countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America, that have gotten together for various financial and economic decisions. And they are formally or informally, and I'm not sure which it is, but formally or informally, they're making decisions about their nations. And they might they might come out with their own currency or something like that. And that would be a gigantic exogenous shock to the world's economy. The fourth thing is euro dollars. Now, euro dollars, my understanding of it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong about this in the comments, but to my understanding, euro dollars means dollars outside of the United States, in Europe and other places. So euro dollars, there's, I think, 10 or 100 times more euro dollars, which are dollars outside the United States, than there are inside the United States. Now, if the U.S. dollar no longer is the U.S., if the U.S. dollar no longer is the world currency, for example, I think Russia will only accept payments for their oil now in either gold or the ruble. If countries start behaving in similar manner and no longer respect or use dollars as the world currency, all those euro dollars and US dollars are going to find their way back to the United States, and that's going to be a little problem because that's going to cause extremely bad inflation in the United States. And as you may or may not know, extremely bad inflation is called hyperinflation, and that's a very, very scary word for economists anywhere. Hyperinflation is about the worst thing that can possibly happen. I'm not predicting this. I'm just saying that this could happen, and it's a factor that very much could affect the housing market. My fifth factor here that I figured out with my ex-wife this morning is Russia's independent decisions. As I already mentioned, Russia's already made some very big independent decisions regarding whether or not they're going to sell gas to Germany, whether they're going to accept payment in dollars for oil. These are really, really big decisions that Russia's making, because from Russia's point of view, they haven't been treated very well by the West recently. And whether you agree with their view or not, that's their point of view at this point. The sixth point, which would have a gigantic effect on the real estate market, I have no idea if it would cause it to go up or down, is that central banks all around the world keep printing money. This is, you may or may not realize, the actual, real, true cause of inflation. This is, in fact, the only cause of inflation. In the U.S., for example, you have Congress okaying these $100 billion bills, sending hundreds of billions of dollars to the Ukraine, and then the Federal Reserve sells bonds on the open market, which are just pieces of paper that they print, which infuses billions of dollars into the global economy, which was basically made up out of nothing and just directly turned into debt. This is the cause of inflation. So this is the sixth factor that could affect the real estate market. Would this sixth factor cause real estate to go up or down? I would say it would cause it to go up. But if dollars become worthless, what do you have then? So these are 6 important factors. Let me state them again if you didn't catch them all the first time. The Great Reset by the people, the global financial system being reset by the people, we the people, which would be the quantum financial system as described by Charlie Ward. The second Great Reset, which would be by the central banks, which could include cryptocurrencies created by the central banks. The third is decisions by BRICS, which is the team of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. Euro dollars, when you've got now 10 or 100 times as much in euro dollars as you have dollars inside the U.S. If the U.S. dollar becomes no longer the world currency, that could cause hyperinflation. You have Russia's independent decisions, which are connected to politics, but I want to avoid the politics because this is a YouTube video. I want to avoid talking politics with Russia. But they make independent decisions like who they'll sell their gas to, who they'll sell their natural gas to, who they'll sell their oil to, what kind of payment they'll accept. They've been changing the terms of all of these things, and this can have a really big effect on the world economy. And then the central bank's very nasty bad habit of just printing money out of nothing, which is actually not printing it like a printing press, but they sell bonds on the open market in coordination with Congress in the United States, and other nations have a similar procedure where their ruling body makes decisions and their central bank just sells bonds or other financial instruments to just create money out of nothing. So these are the 6 exogenous factors that could hugely affect the real estate market. Thank you very much, and see you in our next video.